you guys, this is Elliot coming to you from my own server now, not the test server, but we do have patch 6.5 and Time Portal and Holy Sword and all of this stuff on all of the servers at this point. And so here I want to get out as soon as possible a video on discussing Death Zone and the changes to Time Portal. So Death Zone is actually the same on the main servers from what I can tell, but I want to discuss that a little bit more just to show you guys how you can make sure you can use all these Death Zone tokens. So I did test this to make sure it still works, but basically we want to make sure that we can use all of these Death Zone tokens. You don't want to get into a position where you need to rely on your friends sharing the bosses with you in order to finish this or whatever it might be. So we'll talk about that. Quick thing I wanted to mention is that these things, from what I can tell on the test server, of course it could be different on the main server, but I don't think this is something that they would change. But from what I can tell, normal, hard, nightmare, and purgatory is not an indication of how difficult these bosses are going to be. I opened up hard and nightmare on the test server, and all of these bosses seemed just as difficult or easy as they were on normal. What did change is the fact that you got a lot more rewards when you were in hard, and the nightmare was even more, and I assume purgatory is going to give the most rewards here. And all the points remain the same and all of that stuff. It looks identical except for which one of these you're in. So basically you're going to want to open up these holy swords as soon as possible. Of course you're going to need each of the merge stills for that. But at a minimum, you're going to want one Holy Sword because the rewards become better. So here, like at 210 points, 0 through 210 points, it's 10 Sylph Soul Orbs and 15 Polishing Orbs. And then at 250, it goes up to 13 and 18, respectively. When you're in hard, I think 0 through 210 points gives you 13 and 18. And then once you hit 250, it goes up from there. I forget the numbers. But we do have those numbers on the blog, so if you guys want to know the benefits or the increased rewards for doing this on hard and nightmare, definitely go check that out. I don't have the numbers for purgatory yet, but maybe I can get that in the future. And so yeah, that's something to think about. You basically want to get into purgatory as soon as possible, or do the more difficult sections as soon as possible, because I don't think it has any impact on how difficult these bosses are. So that's my spiel there. The other changes that I've noticed, well, actually that's not a change, but that's just something I learned on the test server. One particular setup change that they did here is that before I had seen 2 attempts, free reset attempts on the test server. Now we only have 1. I suspect that the way this is going to work is actually at the end of the week, it's going to automatically reset all of this. At the end, and so you get 1 free reset a week, or at least I hope that's how it works, because on the test server you got 2 attempts, but at the end of the week your map didn't reset, so you just reset your old week, and then when you got to the new week you really only had 1 free reset attempt, if that makes sense. If that's really confusing, just ignore me. It's not a big deal. And then here we get refresh attempts. So we have only 1 attempt at this. You can use bound balins, and this is actually useful if you want to get going on these rewards, because for most people they're only going to be able to beat this E boss, possibly the D1, and you don't really want to risk it too much. And so what this refresh will do is reset your attempts here, so you can kill more of these E bosses that are easier, but it won't reset the points. And if you do this full reset, it's going to reset your points here as well. So really, before you use this reset, you're going to want to use this one if you're willing to pay up the bound balins. So you don't have to use real balins. I think bound balins for people who don't need to make a merge self. Like if you're saving up to get a merge self, do not bother with this. By all means, if bound balins are a hot commodity for you, don't do this. But for the players who do have a lot of bound balins, for sure use this reset if you can't get up to 400 points, which I think is impossible for people at the moment. So yeah, okay. So those are those attempts. This is a collect all chest type of thing. And here, when we select sylphs, what I'm going to do is use 3 really crappy sylphs. So I'm just going to use my worst ones. And this might feel a little strange to people, but basically how Death Zone works is that every time you enter one of these fights, so win or lose, at the end of the fight, there's a chance that one of these Death Zone bosses is going to appear here. And you're going to be able to share it, you're going to be able to attack it, blah, blah, blah. And you get breakthrough orbs at the end of that fight, depending on how much of the boss you kill. So one little thing that is part of the game, it seems intentional on the game's part, is that when all of these die, and then you use this reset, it actually doesn't use your reset attempt. So what I'm actually going to do, just to kill myself really quickly, is go ahead and attack the triple S. And so there's no way that I'm going to beat this. We can, there I go, okay? And it looks sort of crazy, but I'm gonna go ahead and die. And then I'm gonna do this again. I didn't spawn a boss here. So I'm just going to keep on trying to do this until I get a boss to show up. So another really crappy Triton. I don't know why I have all these Tritons with me, but apparently I do. And here, so now a Death Zone has spawned. What I'm actually going to do is go ahead and share that. I'm only doing this mostly just so that I can get some attempts on Shock. She'll help with the damage a little bit, but not too much. When you share it, it doesn't like announce to a lot of people, so you know, as long as you do it quickly, it's okay. I am set up for World Boss, so I'm using my Thor. I'm using you know, a big damage bonuses. So here I have I'll have Cursed Arrow from the Wind Ranger and Damnation from my Oracle, and then for this combo, actually I'm gonna do this a little differently. So that stuff doesn't matter. Just have Celestial on there and whatnot, and then set up like this. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah, why don't I? Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack first, and then if I don't kill him completely, which is a possibility, I'll kill most of him, but if there's anything left, I'm going to go ahead and share that boss, and then let Shock finish it up. So let's go ahead and attack first. So Shock has Knighthood, and so she'll be able to do all of this stuff, everything available to Knighthood players, but I think it's going to be a while before I can get a Merge Sylph on her, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. And so I'm not going to worry about like breakthrough orbs, so I'm just going to give her sort of the leftovers from all of this. Oh, I'm actually struggling a bit here. I'm wondering if well, I am stronger on the test server. Okay, it's unrealistic to be like, oh, why am I not killing the whole boss? Oh, please don't kill me here. I lost track of how many turns. Okay, yeah. Alright. Okay, so basically what happens is if I want to go ahead and attack him again, it's going to use another one of my death tokens. So I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and share this. And so this becomes available to all my knighted friends. And so now it's available. Here I'm on Shock's tune, and I'm going to go ahead and attack. Alright, so I didn't kill the boss with Shock. So give me a second, you guys. I'm actually going to go sign on another tune. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. Alright, so these bosses are actually a little bit stronger than I thought. I think I might have just not crit on my main tune, and that was the issue. Alright, so I'm going to use another attempt on Bwyn's tune, because he's really not going to get his a Merge Sylph anytime soon, so I'm not worried about getting breakthrough orbs on his tune. But yeah, let's go ahead and do another one of these. So this is the risk that you take. I think most people are not going to be able to beat these with one attempt, but the really strong players are going to be able to do it without too many issues. So they can sort of keep them all to themselves. I'll show you guys why it's sort of better that you make sure you know, kill a lot of the boss first. So if you have alts, you can help your guildies by just using them on their death token attempts. Okay, so here for killing that boss, Bwin gets 2 breakthrough orbs because he only killed a small portion of it. And then if I go over to Shock, let's see here. Oh, there's another. Okay, it's gone now. So if I go see how much Shock got from that. So Shock also gets 2, and then if I go over to my own tune, I bet you I got 10 of these. So yeah, so I got 10 breakthrough orbs because I killed a huge portion of the boss. And so as long as you kill a lot of the boss, you're going to get 10 orbs. That's the maximum that you can get. So basically that's how you spawn the bosses. I'm gonna do this again and basically just go through my attempts. So I'm gonna die here again. See if I get another boss. There, you do have 2 hours to clear them. So I guess potential. I don't know. Yeah, maybe you can collect like another 2 bosses here and then just like kill all of them back to back rather than doing them one at a time. Okay, so I've died here. And so it looks pretty bleak, but actually if I just reset right now, see, I don't lose my attempts and I can assign my sylphs again. So basically this is how you get all your death zone attempts, is you just keep on dying. So I'll go through this and show you. Maybe I won't do like a commentary on all of it, but just to illustrate getting all of the attempts, that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do. So I'm just trying to test things out, and I've done a bunch of these attempts, and it doesn't look like it's spawning another Death Zone boss, so I don't think that you can accumulate another Death Zone boss if you haven't killed this one yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and kill that. Let me see if it helps if I, you know, throw a pot on. Maybe I can kill it myself. Yeah, let's just go ahead and try it. So again, just attacking without sharing it, and then once I've just had my fill, I'll go ahead and share the rest. Maybe I can get 1 sylphid in. Maybe that'll be better than something I can pull off in. Oh yeah, I killed the whole thing. Okay, so that's much better. Ooh, Nick just sent me some roses. Alright, I need to send her kissy faces. Hold on. Alright, so a little bit more of this. I mean, well, maybe you guys will get the point after a few. I've gotten the point already, but we can do a few more of these just to really hit it over the head. So I really think that you can only have 1 of these up at a time, because it only took 2 tries to get another boss once I killed that one. Yeah, I think I'm critting better. I think that first time was just a lack of crits, which I can sort of fix up because I have those 2 extra tunes. But yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and kill these. Maybe I should. Well, no, I think I'm just going to use Shock and Bwin to help other people, you know, help people with their Death Zone bosses if they can't get through it with 1 attempt. So yeah, that's probably what I'll do with those tunes, since I don't think those orbs are a huge priority at the moment. The price on extra death tokens is really pretty high. It's 100 real Balins. You cannot use bound Balins per death token. So that means, you know, you can increase these tokens 10 times each week. But yeah, I mean that's pretty expensive for 10 orbs. I think that you know, it takes so much material in order to get to the point where you need to use breakthrough orbs that I don't think it's super important at the moment. Basically, you have to perfect a holy sword, which requires those blue orbs, and then you go ahead and you what I forgot what they call it. I think it's like animation, and that's the yellow polishing orbs. And then once you use the yellow polishing orbs for 9 levels, you're going to have to break through, and you increase the level of your holy sword skill and whatever with the red orbs that we're getting here. So they're not super important. The polishing orbs and the Sylph Soul orbs are more important. Boss spotted. Okay, so actually that one took a few times. So so I think this is the last boss that I'm going to do on video, just so this doesn't drag on. But this is the basic idea: is you just lose over and over again. You do not want to kill any of these bosses. So for people with strong self, yes, you are potentially going to be able to beat those E bosses, the D bosses. You know, you might need multiple selves. I don't recommend Thor here. I hope that you guys, where if Thor is your only super strong self, what I would do is go ahead and put Blessed Electro on him, because really Thor is not very good in these situations. Oh, am I gonna die? Oh no, we're fine. So yeah, Thor is actually, I think, the worst Sylph for Time Portal, just because he doesn't have any natural healing. So if you're gonna use Thor, what I would do is, and I might actually switch this for my own Thor, just for practical reasons, until I get a super OP, you know, Frigga or Odin. I think what I'm gonna have to do is add Blessed Electro, or potentially also Blessed Water, and so that means that that Thor will have a chance to recover some HP as he's attacking or when he gets attacked, and that's very, very helpful because Thor has no healing skills, whereas, you know, Frigga has all these heals and the shields, and Odin is in pretty good shape with this Delphic and with Devour Soul, so you probably don't need passives that help them heal, though they will help. So yeah, that's something to think about, is Blessed Electro and Blessed Water for this. But yeah, I mean, that's sort of the trick to Death Zone, is basically just die. Do not use any of these rounds, you know, just do this, you know, at the beginning of the week, this is what you take care of. And yeah, so then you can reset this without using this attempt, as long as everything here is in white. You do not want to see any red, because that means that you've used an attempt. And then once you clear all of these out, once you die and, you know, you spawn all of those bosses and whatever, then you can go ahead and set up your best sylphs. You know, put in your Odin or your Frigga or your Thor, or just whatever's your best sylph. You know, some people, I think that probably Hera is going to be a good bet in here, as far as non-merged sylphs go, just because she's going to be able to recover some of that health. Potentially, what would it be, Poseidon or Triton? Poseidon. I think the advanced sylphs are probably not going to be able to build up enough BR unless they're merged. So I think Freya, Loki, and Tyr, if they have, you know, are filled with Sepulchrum, have some potential to be able to you know, have enough BR to manage this. Otherwise, I think you need sophisticated sylphs that are red with nice gear and all of that stuff, because this requires a tremendous amount of sylph BR. It is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, definitely clear out, you know, 0 out of 10 Death Zone tokens, and then be on your merry way trying to build up points and get these orbs. But that is my advice for Time Portal. I hope it helps you guys out, and definitely share with your friends so they don't get into too much trouble here and can maximize their rewards. Another thing that you can do is, you know, just try, instead of starting with E, which you can probably, you know, beat some of the levels without too many issues, is like start at maybe C or B, and see if you can beat those with 3 sylphs, and that's potentially better than what you could do, because E might still take out some of your sylphs. So, you know, toy around with it, but basically, as long as you lose all your sylphs without using any of these rounds up, you're going to be able to reset here for free without any issues. So anyway, that's all I have for you guys. Take care and have a very good day.